Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. I started taping and the dog ran off with my supplies. Rasa, you got to help more, right? Try to help out. Don't just run off with stuff and don't get everything and run off with it. Okay, so so I'm doing really great here. How are you doing? It's been more than 4 hours. I just got done teaching a class, a little Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I got a little bit of a workout and I'm not even slightly hungry. The enzymes from earlier and staying on a regimented plan, being willing to adjust my plan based on how I'm feeling, respecting and honoring the impulses seems to be adding up into a pretty good place here. Now, one of the things I'm thinking here that I want to talk about is my a couple secret weapons. Okay, one secret weapon is that usually with me, I have a little bag of about a quarter cup of the mix of nuts here. So it's nuts plus a couple banana slices and a little bit of apple slices. Oh, the pets are, come on, kitty. Don't disturb the taping. Pets are rambunctious here today. So one secret weapon is you always have an emergency supply of food with you at all times, okay? And the second thing I'd like to say here, something that we're going to try, is that I'm going to have as my fifth meal, fifth meal, I'm going to have a quarter cup of nuts, and I'm going to try something here a little bit. Now, I've got this 90% cocoa chocolate here. There's very little sugar in it. And one of the things that I'm going to experiment with here live with you, I'm not saying that you need to do this, I'm going to give it a try, is having a little speck of this with these nuts. And I want to just experiment with kind of the feeling of satisfaction that arises from giving yourself some little thing and just seeing, does that trigger greater desire for that. Now, I don't even like candy or chocolate. I've already talked about that. And I know for some people, maybe you're like, well, you can't eat just one speck of chocolate. But play with me with this a little bit. There is very, very little sugar in this chocolate. And a square of it, about this big, on here says that would have 2 grams of protein. This square would have 6 carbohydrates. It would have less than 1 gram of sugar, and it would have roughly about 5 grams of fat. So if I take this square and I break it in half, and I break it in half again, and I have this little speck, all right, I'm going to be having, it's like a 16th of basically of the recommended thing. Everything is tiny. It's just a little bit of like the flavor of the cocoa, the nutrients of the cocoa. There's very minimal sugar in this. I'm going to have this along with my mix of nuts. Just this little tiny thing. And that's going to be my fifth meal. And we're going to play with that a little bit here. I'm not hungry at all, but I'm on a schedule. I don't want to go past 4 hours. Later tonight, if I'm hungry, 4 hours from now, or if the feeling of hunger arises, I'm going to respect it. I'm going to pay attention to what my craving is. I'm going to try to understand it. I'm going to try to listen to the wisdom of my body and the language that my body is speaking. I'm not going to try to make it speak my day-to-day language. Like I'm here talking with you. I'm not going to expect that all these trillions and trillions of cells in the ecosystem and that my 400 billion workers that are working away with those extra enzymes I gave them, I'm not going to expect that they're going to go to school and learn how to speak English. That would be completely ridiculous, don't you think? I mean, we want everybody to just like speak our language. Well, what about this universe that we are part of, that we are actually in a way in charge of, that we sometimes in our leadership role fall asleep and begin to make decisions that are out of harmony with our entire ecosystem, right? And our ecosystem gives us feedback and information, and sometimes that feedback and information is just simply the medical problems that we're experiencing, the places where we seem out of balance. Okay, then medicine wants to diagnose the problem and then, treat it, right? They want to basically treat the symptom. I'm suggesting that we might be able to listen to the symptom and say to ourselves, okay, let's try to understand this. Let's kind of do what we can do to respect the communication, to learn the language of our body and play with learning this new language. The language of our liver that does all these very amazing processes that keeps us going, and the language, all the trillions of cells all everywhere, the language of our mitochondria creating and making energy with the tiniest specks of kind of stuff that we provide it by ingesting it into our mouths. That's our delivery point for all of the work that's being done in our bodies all the time, working on our benefit, for our benefit, and on our behalf. So let's play with that a little bit. A little bit later, I'm going to have a meal prepared, and I think it's going to be half a cup of yogurt and quarter cup of blueberries, a couple apple chips, a couple banana chips, a few macadamia nuts. I think that will be my 6th meal for the day today. So it's been a great day. Stick with it. I'll look forward to seeing you in the morning tomorrow. Be ready to get on a little bit of a mindfulness practice in the morning, a couple minutes of mindfulness, and we're going to work a little bit more on this little gap that is available to us between our sleeping consciousness and our waking regular momentum. We're going to work to see, can we make that gap a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, so we can have access to a deeper wisdom that we can then enjoy our deeper and more fuller participation in all of the processes that are bringing us to greater and greater balance every day, every meal. All right. See you in the morning. Sleep well.